Craig Tompkinson here with Tonk's Tips. Yeah, okay. Today I'm putting in a new set of brake shoes, brake drums. Hopefully you can see me here. I've used ProTech for my 80 series. This is my 80 series is the 5th or 6th or something, 7th month 1990, so it's got the same back drums as on the late 60 series. They're just a big old steel. Oh, where are they? In here somewhere. I'll just put you down there and I'll open that. Yeah. Where is that? Oh, crikey, I should have. I had it open, but I've already put one on, see? I wasn't going to film anything, and then I decided to come and film it. Righto. There she is. That's the new drum. Not bad looking. I was actually after, I was going to put Bendix brake pads, but they were, I bought these from a local hardware parts place. What were they called? Anyway, I can't find what the name of them was, but they were made in Bond brake or something like that. They're made in Western Australia, so I was actually after Bendix, but the local fella said they were good, so I'll give them a whirl. I'll get them from down here at Slips, down at in Karoi. Like I said before, I get 10% because I've shopped there for years. But yeah, I'm just doing that. So make sure, I've already done this side here, I forgot all about. But yeah, I got a jack, I got a stand, then I've got a tyre and a lump of wood on top up underneath the knuckle there. So if she drops, I'll get another bit of wood and put underneath there. I've chocked the front wheels. The truck's in neutral, so I can spin the back wheels. Yeah, then I'll sit you up here. Perfect, see? Now she can't do anything. But you got to start off. There's a little fillet head screwdriver thing just here. Mine's buggered, so I've got to knock him out with a coal chisel. Then you got to get over the back here, and on the backing plate here, just in here, there's a rubber grommet just there that comes out. See that? You got to get in there with one screwdriver and poke him in, and you have one going like that. Sorry, one poked in, and the other one spins the pushes the locking nut, and then you flip the adjuster around. When I get it out, I'll show you a little bit better. It takes a good hour or so. Yeah, look, see, me fluffing, me things here need tightening up on me sway bars, and oh, this old girl's done thousands of kilometres. Actually, I'll get a spanner on that if it doesn't snap off. Thousands of k's on corrugated roads. I've done all the bushes in her, and I've just got to do the bearings as well in the front. New bearings and probably new brakes. These I've never touched in 10 years. They're still the same drums. So they're not that worn either. But I'll just switch this off and I'll get that out. You got to get mine's buggered, so I got to get a coal chisel onto it or a spanner. I don't know if you'll see that, but you just get it's not in there tight, it's just in there good enough to see. She's coming loose already. I've had them and put Never-Sees on them because I buggered it up before. She's only just in there, it's not that tight. I should have got another one. What I might do is get that, and you get this here with a thing in the grinder, and you cut a groove right across them. and that allows you to put a big flat screwdriver in there. So that's probably what I'll do. So righto, like I said, you got to get in over the back here now, and take the adjuster, back the adjuster right off, so it's missing the drum, and then they'll come out. Once I get this off, once I get that off, I'll show you what I was backing off. And like I said, this is an 80 series, on the first of the 80 series, but this is exactly the same. It's on the back of some 60 series. So look at that, all the years of just rust preventative tactile 506 and sump oil just builds up a layer on the chassis, and there's no rust in her. I've got to get her out. I'll probably blast it off again one day and hit her again. But yeah, there's a screw missing out of there. I got to do a little you just got to keep on top of them. Things rattle out of them. All right, I'll switch this off and get into that and do that. I'll put this on here. Yeah, I'll just show you. I don't know if you'll see that from there, but I'll just show you what you got to do. Get these out the road. Takes about 10 minutes to back it off far enough. Or may even be a bit longer actually. You gotta come in here like this, get your old milk crate. You mightn't be able to see me, but you come in over here like this. Nope, not that screwdriver. He's got to have one with a flat on it mostly. Oh, here he is. You want a long one. This one's been, see how it's got a slight bend in it? That goes down and hooks it, catches it better. Righto, where is he? I've got to get in here and find him. There we go. Then you just got to, takes a bit. Pain in the ass really. There should be a hole here. They're bloody smart. They should have drilled a hole here through this base plate. And when you get it in the right spot, you can line it up and push it, but it goes the wrong way, so that's a pain in the bum. So I find it, you come in over the back like this. There probably is a way of doing it that way, but right, I'm onto it now. You just got to keep, it's a painful thing. Probably got to take him off 40 or 50 or 100 clicks to make sure he's backed off far enough. And it still takes a bit to get the drum off over the top of the shoes too. And then when you hope to get in here, the back seal hasn't been leaking too much on the bearings. Like I probably should be doing the seals of the bearings, the brakes and a whole lot at one time, but then you get 2 or 3 years. But this time I bought back drums, back shoes, front bearings, $600 or $700 even with a bit of discount off. Right, we'll try that. I don't think it's going to be far enough. See, it's moving a bit. And I know you shouldn't probably put your thing in over the top here, because you bend the backing plate. But it looks like I might have got it far enough off. Just keep wiggling it. Look at that, see? Off she comes. Now, what I was backing off is you're coming in from the back here, and you got to push that locking thing back out the road through the hole. See, you come through here like I was saying, and you hit that lever down there. You hit that lever down there with the screwdriver, then with the other screwdriver in your hand, you turn this little wheel, and that backs him off. So now, you get onto that, and you wind that in the whole way. Otherwise, if you don't do what I just did, if you don't push that locking tab out the road, you can't it won't allow you to take the brakes off, get the drum off. Now I'm just backing him off all the way. And if it's really stiff, before you put that back in, you put some grease on that thread, or anti-seize. There's probably the purists out there look away. This is the world according to Tonk. That's why it's called Tonk's Tips. But so yeah, you wind that right in. Now you've got to come down underneath here and unhook a couple of things. And the old brakes, they're just about buggered. So they're due, the old drums, they've got a bit, but I've just put new ones on. I had to put new ones of them in last time, and I should have done them, but these were still pretty new. Get the blower in and blow all this dirt and crap out of them here in a second. And get in the back here and scrape the dirt out. Go around there and scrape that out so that where they come in and don't build up. I mean, you can clean this right down if you want to, but I always think, well, the first time you drive into anything that's a bit muddy, but I like to get the compressor on it. I'll show you. I'll bring the compressor around and the air nozzle, and I'll get it to blow out. Now, I'm not a fully qualified mechanic, but I'm just self-taught. But sorry about that. She's rusty in there because she had brake fluid bloody leak all in there. Okay. I'll just go and clean this lens up. I'll be back. I'll turn this off. Okay, I just did that. I noticed this little GoPro, the batteries get hot in it and the machine itself gets hot. Okay, now that that's cleaned up, I've got to just sit that one like that, and you have him like that, and then you just got to get in here and unhook, pull him apart, and I'll show you how to do that. Hopefully you can see me just there. What I do is I generally just pop this one out of here. Or that one. No, I did it just before on this other one. Because it's wound generally. Don't get out here and get nasty, but I've done one before and I haven't been doing any work because I've been haven't been early because I just had a turbs operation 5 weeks ago and I'm not supposed to be doing anything, but I'm just coming good. So come in here like so. Oh no, that's what you got to do. It's alright, I'm ahead of myself. You've got to get these little things here and undo this little tab here. Hold him in the back here. You've got to push him in hard and turn him. get a pair of old Toyota pliers and they're bloody good for it. There's probably proper spanners for this. There you go. That takes that off. Push that pin out now. I'll show you. Turn you around here. That pin comes through from the back. That one sits on there like that, and that spring holds the brake on. Then that's got to come on, goes down like that and turns, and then it pops back sideways like that, and that holds it all together. Now there's another one on this side here. You just get a pair of pliers like this and open them up, and you push it in and turn it by holding the back as well. There we go. This is just, I self-taught myself how to do this years ago, changing brakes. Especially, I've really only ever worked on Toyotas. I'm not saying I'm as good as Mr. Land Cruiser, but by gee, I've done a lot of them over the years. See, you come down like so, and then you've got to come under here, and you've got this handbrake cable there. He's got to pop out. He just comes in like that. You just push him in by hand, and like that. I can't show you because I can't do it with both hands. And he just comes out, see? He just comes out like that, and he goes back in there later on. He can just hang down. Now, because they're unhooked, you just get underneath there. Get one over, and it gives you a bit of room. You can just slide her off like that. That little spring here, he joins the two on the bottom. It sits in there. You've got to remember how everything goes. Actually, it goes that way because that was the curve in him. Now, normally, these sets used to come with all new joiners and stuff. And I noticed when I did this one, yeah, I've got to use the old one. So what I'm talking about, there's a little circlip here that's got to come off, just there. He's got to come off, and this brake adjuster's got to come out. So yeah, you just got to unclip that, a little screwdriver, and come in the back of there like so, and he comes out. Here's a little circlip. You got to look after these because they got to be. See how little that little thing is? You keep him aside. Now that pops off. It's hard to film when you're trying to show you how to do. Now that comes up. That bit there comes off. And he just hangs down there. See, he's in a spring. A spring goes in there, underneath there in the shoe. Now you just watch what you're doing. You got to keep an eye on what you're doing. He goes back over there, so you put him over the way he come off. Now there's this one. This spring, this circlip thing here, you got to get in there and undo him. That one there. Right there, you got to get him undone. And now he'll let that arm come off. I should have brought a hammer over. But there's probably all proper tools for this. Because I don't do it all the time, I ain't got them. Some of these things you can put one screwdriver one way and one the other, and it just opens them up. Oh, now that chair's good. Sometimes you're just too far away from it. And other times you just get like a cold chisel like that. Don't know if you can see there. Cold chisel like that. And a hammer, and you hit him right on the end. I just got to go and get a hammer. Yeah, after having this GoPro, this number 7, it's only a cheap one, first one. It's, no, they're not cheap, are they? They're all about the same fry. And you just hit that in there, use a cold chisel shaved off like that, and hit him right on the end, and that just pops him out. Then you can come in there with a screwdriver and that comes out then. You got to remember, you got to use these again. Oh, I'm getting cramps in the back. I haven't been doing much. I might even just paint that with a little bit of sunfoil before I put that back together, all that back plate, because you can put it all back on and you don't get any, it just comes out the bottom, you don't get any, because I am going to use the truck for a while, I just paint it, I just put a little bit on there lightly, and it'll just, the heat through the day will just make it creep everywhere, and it'll stop all those surfaces and they're rusting away. And you know, because they're back brakes, they get dirt and crap in there, so there's going to be better brakes than what I had anyway. And keep them as clean as I can. Righto, so then that bit's done, and that should come off there then. He comes out, he comes off, and that one comes off. Now you take that shoe away, put that back, and before you forget, you go straight back on there with that one. That one comes back in, goes in, like I was saying, that little thing there, he's got to go back over the top of those. See, that goes back on there, that's part of your handbrake. He's got to tap back in there, there's a slot in there. A little slot in there, you can see. He's got to go in that. He goes on. I'll put him back in. You just got to, that's why I like to do it in reverse. Alright, he's on. Then you just get a pair of pliers, spin him round, and hold him in from the back, and then you just clamp him up. Till he's shut. Now he's not going anywhere. There, just get a pair of pliers like so, down in there, and you just clamp that there shut like that. Pull that in. That clamps that up again. Now that little bit comes back on. Just got to get that. He goes back into that groove there. He comes back over the top of that, sits back up on there and sits on there now too. And that other. So this bit here has got to go in there. This little bit here has got to come in here first. He goes in there like that, and then that comes back over the top of that. That hole sits on there, and that goes on there. That's it. But that's got to be locked in there so it doesn't go anywhere. Then you get this other little circlip thing here, you mightn't see it. It's a little fine one. And he goes on there and just pushes in. You can nearly push him in with your finger. Doesn't take much to hold them together. He sits in a little groove there. There we go. That's all together. Spring's in position there. Hold him in tension. Hold him on. Then that bit goes in there, he's nice, that bit there goes in there, he's nice and greased, and spin. There, so then you got to get your spring, he goes up underneath here, this long spring, that way, goes in there, in that slot, then onto this one here, as it's going in there. Sorry, over that one, is it? Yeah, over that one. I might have to put that in there first. Then you put that in there, yeah. Then you get a pair of pliers or something like that. Put your feet either side of it and pull that bloody spring in there with a pair of pliers. Put him in. There we go, he's in. Oh. There. And so you just reverse it as quick as you can before you forget. And that's just putting it back the way it was. Down here's got to have the spring on it when it goes back in, but that can go back together now. I'll just go and get a little bit of sump oil and paint that back there. Oh, I buggered up. I put that back together with that one on it to pull it apart again. Oh, that's the name of these brake pads. Brake bonders. It's supposed to be made in Western Australia, I think. I looked up on the internet. How true? That's how long they were made ago. 26th of the 5th, 2001. 2021. 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. They've been sitting there before they sold. There, I've just painted that in the back of there. That's just a little bit of diesel sump oil. That'll just counteract it. I'll just get a bit of a rag now and I'll wipe the excess off that. I did that on the other side too. That just, if you weren't going up the beach or in salt water, but this truck spends weeks and days driving up the beach in salt water. I could have, if I had something, I could have sandblasted that if I had something and cleaned that all up and painted it. But oh, I've been around this stuff all my life and that lasts about 10 minutes. You're flopping, you want something to last up the beach, you just got to keep putting sump oil or Tactile or some of the newer ones on them, keep them from rusting away. Yeah, I've had this thing 10 years now and it's had a little bit of surface rust around when I bought it and it hasn't gone any further. If you just wipe that little bit of excess off, it doesn't get on your brakes. Well, put it this way, I had two of these leaking and the brakes still weren't too bad. Yeah, it's just a matter of poking along, steady. And give everything a bit of a clean up at the last before I put the drum on. Alright, so that's got to go back in now. She's right to go. I'll put that back on there and then I'll put this spring on the bottom. It's a bit too hard to get it all on there together. I'll try, but I'll try. See if it's even better. So I'll put this in here. There it goes like that. Pain in the ass getting it all back together, I tell you. It comes around. Actually, what I'll do is I think I generally sit these up in here. I generally put that on at the last. I'll sit these up in position. Back on these springs and get them in position so they hold in. Oh no, we've got to pop this down here and here, and that piece there that goes in over there. Pop that spring out there, that cable for the handbrake. It comes around, sits in there like that, and you got to pop that back in there. Oh look, I'm rough. But like, still all works when it goes back together. Ah, there we go. That can go on there later. You can go X-ray, that way. You can hang down there. Perfect. And another thing you got to do It's up in here where the handbrake comes out, the lever. You poke some grease and that in around that, otherwise around the salt water, that thing there, they seize. And you've got to get a bit of grease in around the back of them too. Oil, grease. It's all brilliant to have these all spotlessly clean, but anybody goes up the beach, they just all just rust away or fall to bits now. Mr. Toyota had a few brains, he would have galvanised all those bits, or made them out of bloody alloy or stainless, those back bits. I mean, they lasted pretty well the way they are, but that would have just made them perfect, in my opinion. They put a bit of galvo on them or something, okay. Now, like I said, you just got to keep reversing the process. These old Toyota pliers are just so handy for this sort of thing. You come down here like that, you get that one, you come in from the back, there's a hole there. He sits up in position, he slides up there. You probably won't see what I'm doing, but hard to film it. You get that one on there. Just reversing what I was saying before. Put that spring. Another cap there somewhere. There it is. No, that's that one. Oh, here. You just get hold of it like that now. You put the pliers just on each side of it, like that, and have it gently vertical. You put the spring in and hold him in there with your finger. Make sure your pin in there is vertical. You gotta, there we go. And they sort of lock in there a little bit. And sometimes you just get a little bit of oil and just wipe on those springs. Just a little bit, and then it's just enough that it spreads around the spring and that washer and just stops them rusting away. Everything just falls the bits around them. As this goes up the beach, as soon as you drive through a bit of salt water, like you don't even have to drive through salt water, you just, the spray coming off the beach just eats them away. I've worked on other people's Toyotas and this backing plate's just rusted off. I've had to put all new backing plates on. All this in here's all buggered just from going up the beach. And like I said, you just let that sit overnight and just wipe off that little bit of excess oil, that sump oil around the backing plate just before you put the drum on, and you don't get too much around your shoes then, and they last pretty good. Like I said, the last lot was, oh, that had to be, well, I don't think I've bought new ones in 10 years, so they last pretty well. I might have had a set in there in 5 years. Oh, it's hard to tell sometimes. Just don't think you've spent money on them. But I can't remember. Oh, I might have replaced them just after I bought it, so they've been on there the 10 years. Or I say 7 at least, anyway. And they're not that bad. See, look, that's the old ones. They've still got half a life in them. I just thought I'd pull them off because they're just getting a bit buddy. I was going to do a few Ks down New South Wales and that late soon, and I just thought, oh, don't know what they're like. I was just a bit worried, so that would have been fine. Some of these things are a bit tricky. I know I'm probably boring you to tears with this, but oh, I sit down and watch everybody else's videos. I'll watch them if I can learning something. So hopefully you're learning something here. You just got to put your fingers over the back there. There is probably special tools for this, but I ain't got them. I found this is just as good as any. Like I said, I'm the same as the other one. A little white, a bit of excess oil, or just white, but that sump oil around those springs. And that washer. Perfect. Just a little bit there, a little bit down in there on these things, on those arms. Then the main one is, yeah, I've already painted that bloody wire in here. Just rub a little bit of oil on that wire. It goes rusty otherwise, and around that there. Just a little bit on the surface. It doesn't need to be much, because as soon as I get a bit of, I'll take this for a drive up a dusty road. It should be right. Now I just got to get that spring in the bottom here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. That spring got to hook over to that one. He's got to come across there. I generally use a screwdriver like that, and come across and slide him in. You slide it in the hole and bring him over. It's a pain in the butt to do. I should have had it on there, but bring it across. I'll see if I can show you. You put that, oh bugger. You put that one under there and have it in that hole. Really impossible. I'll set it up and show you. You want a Phillips head. I'll just show you. See, that's what you want. See how it's pulling it there? Then you get the pliers, bring them in so they're close, and hold it as it comes across. Oh, I missed. Because I couldn't see what I'm doing. I had it covered over. The other one, it just slides straight in there, it did. I was arsey, in fact. Oh, it's turning sideways. Oh, that's right, I went past the other one. I didn't go in the hole, I went above it. There we go. And just knock him in. Yeah, you come up, you put the end of the screwdriver with it up to this way and pull it past so it stays. Otherwise, when I was going in the hole, it twists the spring. Same with that. You get your thumb in there and wipe a little bit of oil around, sump oil around that spring. Just stops it rusting. Otherwise, all that just falls to bits. Like I said, I'll get a rag and I'll wipe that bit of excess off. Anywhere around there. Make sure you put a little bit of grease on this surface here. I'll show you. This is very important. I'll wash my hands again. Put this over here. I don't know if you'll see that, but just here. Put a bit of grease on this surface here, because I've seen the brake drum rust to that. Make sure you put a bit of grease around that, or oil on that surface. There she is, she's just in there. I'll just go and get the brake drum, and I'll adjust this out a bit before I slide her on. Just so she's in there, and it just saves you a lot more clicking when you got it in, and it all puts it in position. But that didn't take me long. I'm happy with that. Like I was saying before, you put some grease or oil on this surface here, so when the drum goes on there, it doesn't go right. I've seen them rust on there, you can't get them off. It's just terrible. And the only way you can get them off then is you undo here and undo your nuts, and the whole lot comes apart, and then you smash in the bits. Comes off. Yeah, I've never had to do that, but I've had them that hot in here. You had to heat them up with the oxy and soak them in sump oil and diesel and heat them up the oxy, and finally then hit them with the big hammer, and they finally pop apart. And that was on mine. And others, and that's how I know they seize up, because it happened to me. So that's why I do this little bit of preventative maintenance now. But like I said, I just wipe that little bit off those shoes. There's nothing on them. Alright, I'll just... Now I don't worry about painting them. You can if you want to get all that oil off them and spray paint that with. But see, there's a screw hole just there. That lines up with that countersunk there. So when that goes on, it's got to come around and go in there like that. And I've already got a screwdriver here and click that out about 30 or 30 times, to where I just, from experience, I know that And then I'll just put this here and I'll trial fit that. You just got to get that up there. Some of them take a bit of getting on. Line up the drums. Okay, she's beautiful. Just get to give that little tap home. Righto, find that little screw. Good question, Tonk. What have I done with that? It probably fell in the grass here somewhere. I have put them back together without it on there, and I've lost them. Always put a bit of grease or a bit of anti-seize on that thread going in there so they don't rust in here. I don't tighten mine up real tight now. It's just there to pull them in, because it was too tight the last time and I stripped it out, snapped the bit off in there actually. The tip of the you got to remember the wheel nuts hold this on too, so it's not going anywhere. It's just that when you do take your wheel off, it saves this I forgot to put a bit of oil around that surface. Here I am telling you about it. I forgot to do it. Grease here, just go around this surface here, just in there. It's amazing. You can get that, like I said, that with nothing on it, it only needs a thin bit, and it's going to be a pain to get off. Righto, in she goes again. Finger in bum. Well, not bum. Finger in something. Now I've got to find that screw again. Gosh, it keeps running away. Oh, there she is. Get that little tap around, tighten him up. I should, like I said, cut a slot in it. There we go. Beautiful. Now, get the screwdriver here and adjust, come in here and adjust up the brakes until they start rubbing up. Start to touch, I should say, and then you can take it for a drive and adjust them a couple of times. Here and there clicking up. There you go, start to adjust up. Righto, that's up a bit smoother. Righto, reverse the process. Put the wheel back on. Oh, excuse me, get that out of me system. Sit that out here so you can see. Pull that lump of wood out. Pull that up there. Okay, I don't care what people say, I always put grease on my wheel nut. Remember, this is the world according to Tonk, and I always adjust. Now I don't know whether you should put it on there when you've got mag wheels, but I'm talking steel wheels on these nuts, and I always start them by hand. Screw them on, put them on a fair way. If you're really anal, if these were truck nuts, you'd mark them so they go back on the same threads. Because when you're using an air gun with them, what happens is the thread pulls a little bit, and you put a different nut on that, and it's a slightly different shape. So it wears the thread all the time. So you put the same nut back on the same bolt, it's got the same pattern, you know, like same thread. Now I've got to remember to adjust the other one on the other side. Right, hit me spanner, just do him up, boom. Opposite each other for a start. I could use a rattle gun, but I had nothing else to do today, so I just sneak them up steady. It just pulls everything in. A little bit of grease on that back surface makes that drum go in that bit tighter. Like I said, I put grease or oil or anything on that thread. I've never had a nut. It's touch wood. I've never broke a wheel stud, or I've never bloody crossed a thread or buggered one. Then, well, I'm 59 and I've been driving four drives since I've been 9, 50 years. Owned my own full drive and worked on my dad since, I don't know, probably 45, 50 years. This is what my father taught me, and I haven't changed. He used to do the same. He never lost any wheel nuts or broke any wheel studs. So I just do what works. Why change it? When people think they know better. Now, remember, I've got to drop this on the ground and I'll retension those wheel nuts. And I don't worry about a tension wrench. I just pull them up with this breaker bar to what I reckon is a good tension. Righto, I'll climb back under here, get a bit of grease here, and that's a little rubber grommet in the back. Put a bit of grease on that so it's easy to get in there. That covers the dirt. Bit of grease there, wipe that on the nut. She's good, stops things rusting. Climb up under here and there, and I finish adjusting the brakes. No, that's good enough for the new ones. Oh, remember that when you do this, I forgot to tell you, make sure your handbrake's is in the off position. You don't want the handbrake on pulling the shoes out. Yeah, it's just a little bit of movement. By the time I run around the yard a little bit, and that might even need backing off of one. Yet I just keep an eye on them. You just want to bed these in nicely. Okay. Yeah. That's it now. I just drop that down off the jack and put them other ones as spares, put them in the shed. Oh, the old compressor's running there. Oh, she's been a good compressor. Gauge one, 200 litre. Just got to change the oil in them. That's the main thing, like engine oil. You got to drop the oil out of the compressor every 50, 100 hours. That's the life of the machine. Maybe because it's not doing a lot of revs, you might be able to get a couple hundred hours out of them, but I drop it out. Again, people say you're supposed to be using compressor oil, but this has only ever had bloody engine oil, and it doesn't froth up and carry on like they say. Okay, yeah, well that's it. Like I said, I'll pack up now, Keep those shoes and that drum for a spare in case something goes wrong. That didn't take me long. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you liked it, subscribe and like, and someone in a small little channel, not getting paid by anybody. Hope you found some tips. I'll in a few days I'll do the front wheel bearings, and plenty of people have done them. Showed you, so that's how that works. But I'm glad I've done that. All right, catch you later.